There's a new movie out in the theaters right now, and while it may be considered a kids' movie, I think that the topic of the many emotions that we have inside of us is a universal one, and the movie has a powerful message for us all. We're going to explore that today, as well as the health and wellness inspiration that I got from one of the stars of the movie. This is the Wishing You Well podcast, and I'm your host, Maria Patrick. Thank you for joining me for this week's Wellness Prescription, a brand new episode to help us and inspire us to live our best and healthiest lives. If you're curious about who I am and what I do, just take a peek into the description box to find out more about me. The movie that I referred to is Inside Out 2, which is the much anticipated sequel to Inside Out, which won the Oscar Award for Best Animated Movie back in 2015. The movie's characters are named after emotions. The first movie featured the emotions of joy, sadness, fear, disgust, and anger. Well, 9 years later, the sequel brings us back to the lives of the emotions, except that now the characters are teenagers. So now they're dealing with anxiety and envy and boredom, the typical teenage emotions. Amy Poehler plays the character Joy in both of the movies. She's been on the promotional tour for the movie, and one of the things that she's been talking about is her life journey. She wants to keep her mind sharp and fresh, and the way she's doing it is by challenging herself to learn one new thing every month, whether it's a new skill or a new game. She recently told Jimmy Kimmel that she's only 2 months into this journey, and she's already learned 2 new things, one of which is very near and dear to my heart. It speaks to me because she is now studying Tai Chi, which is a form of Qigong, which is the practice that I teach. She admitted that she really likes it, and she said the words that you've heard me say before, that the practice is beautiful and flowing, and that it's a moving meditation. She started doing it with several of her friends, and she admitted that she finds it challenging because Tai Chi has made her be 3 things that apparently she is not: patient, precise, and deliberate. Amy Poehler said that those 3 words are most definitely not her. Yet, she's glad and grateful to be doing it because Amy perfectly said what I've been saying, and I said it in a recent podcast, that we have to start doing things now that we'll be able to continue to do as we're older. I will include a link to the podcast where I talked about this topic in the description box of this episode. Amy also learned something new that I am desperate to learn, which is the game of Mahjong. I've wanted to learn how to play it ever since I saw one of my favorite movies, Crazy Rich Asians. She said she really enjoyed playing the game, and she's now trying to come up with ideas for her future Learn Something New Every Month personal challenge. She mentioned that hacky sack is a possible option because apparently she drives around with a hacky sack in her car, even though she doesn't know how to use it. Jimmy Kimmel had a few ideas of his own for Amy. He suggested calligraphy, learning how to make balloon animals, playing frisbee golf, wreath making, particularly around the holidays, and learning how to cook new things. Amy didn't really like any of Jimmy's suggestions, but perhaps we could take Jimmy up on one or more of his ideas. The thing we need to remember is this, that what we decide to learn, the new thing that we try to learn, matters much less than the actual art of learning something new. There are many health benefits, particularly for your brain, and we're going to explore those today. I think I may be late to the Learn Something New party. I think a lot of people got a head start on me during the pandemic, which is when we were all looking for a silver lining to the shutdown of the world as we knew it. And many people use their time at home very wisely to learn and do new things. Learning how to make sourdough bread became a huge global pastime. Sales of Pelotons skyrocketed. People were teaching themselves how to dance. People were learning how to make videos, shorts on YouTube and TikTok videos. And I think that there must have been many, many other people who were trying to learn the same thing that I learned during lockdown, which was how to make cinnamon rolls from scratch. You know what I mean, not taking the Pillsbury dough and cracking it open on the counter and doing it that way. I'm talking about proofing and rising and rolling out the dough. I couldn't find cinnamon anywhere. It was completely sold out in my little corner of the world. By the way, I ended up mastering my one new thing, learning how to make cinnamon rolls from scratch, to the point where I should have bought a Peloton to lose the weight that I put on sampling those weekly homemade freshly baked cinnamon rolls. I digress. Back to the health benefits of learning new things. Here we go. First of all, learning something new will make you feel good. Why? Because learning new things boosts your dopamine. Dopamine is the neurotransmitter that makes you feel good. The Atlanta Center for Mindfulness and Well-Being, the experts that run it, say that learning something new is like taking an antidepressant, because when you're learning something new, you're boosting the dopamine levels in your brain. How about this? Memory enhancement. I'm always talking about different ways in which we can improve our memory. Did you know that our brains get lazy as we age? At Rutgers University, there's an in-house neurologist and professor, Dr. William Hugh, who's an expert on aging. He says that if we become lifelong learners, we will increase our cognitive reserve. He says that it not only enhances the production of dopamine, but it has a profound impact on improving your memory, because the dopamine in your brain enhances your brain's ability to store new information and form new memories. So when we make a choice like Amy Poehler has, to proactively participate in new activities and branch ourselves out to explore new things and new environments, we're actually going to be strengthening the circuitry in our brains. One of the things I talk about a lot when I teach Qigong is muscle memory, which is when something becomes so familiar to us that we can accomplish it without thinking about it. While this is a very good thing, and it carries with it its own set of benefits, when you do new things, it requires activation of the less used areas of your brain, which means you're going to stimulate new pathways and connections within your brain. You're going to use all your networks, which means you're going to be getting better blood flow to the areas of your brain and hopefully prevent atrophy to those unused areas. Here's another benefit to taking Amy Poehler's challenge: having fun. When was the last time you did something fun? When you engage in new activities, it can be enjoyable and fulfilling. Whatever it is, whether you're learning to swim for the first time, whether you're going to master a new language, whether you're going to learn a new board game, like me trying to learn Mahjong, finding joy in the process is the name of the game. Here's another benefit. You'll boost your self-esteem and your self-confidence. This is because when you acquire new skills and knowledge, you'll be giving yourself a sense of accomplishment. You're going to feel like you're conquering a mental mountain, and you'll be able to celebrate your progress, big or small. When you learn something new, it could even give you a new purpose, a new passion, which contributes to your better overall well-being. Here's another benefit. How about reducing your level of stress, making yourself feel happier, smarter, calmer? When you do new tasks, you're creating new neural connections, and it's going to release the dopamine like we talked about earlier. But in addition to that, it's going to help you to grow as a person, increase your knowledge base, improve yourself in many different ways, Give yourself access to new opportunities, different ideas, different challenges. These new things could be the best experiences that you've never tried up until now. Again, reducing your stress, making you feel happier, more relaxed. I like this benefit, increasing your learning speed. When we introduce new things to our brain, the chemistry of our brain changes. The white matter in our brain is called myelin. And when you have strong myelin, it helps improve your performance on a number of tasks. The more you practice a new skill, the more dense the myelin in your brain will become, which will help you to learn better. Your learning speed will increase. When you learn a new skill, you'll be able to learn new things faster over time because you're constantly going to be stimulating the neurons in the brain. You're going to form new neural pathways, and your electrical impulses will be able to travel faster because you're processing new information. The more pathways that are formed in your brain, the faster these impulses will travel. So by developing a new skill, we're going to make the everyday things that we do feel quicker and easier, save yourself some time, save some energy, and once again, reduce our stress. I'm going to take the Amy Poehler challenge because I would like to be one of the people who is less likely to develop dementia. People who learn new skills are in that group less likely to develop dementia because you're not going to give your brain a chance to demyelinate. Your neural pathways will stay strong and they're going to be ready for new impulses to travel along them. This reason, the next one, is perhaps the most important for you. It may be. When you learn something new, it can be a way of connecting with others, especially if you leave your home to learn your new thing. If you go to a class with your friends like Amy did, or join a new program somewhere, whether it's online or in person, exposing yourself to people that you're going to be learning your new thing with is a great way of improving your social circle, connecting with others. Lastly, learning will fuel your creativity. Learning something new in one area triggers ideas in other areas. You'll become more curious, and curiosity and creative thinking are partners. They work together. They go hand in hand. You're going to create what psychologists call being in the zone, flowing. Your brain blood flow is going to be increased. Instead of just mindlessly doing things that are passive, like watching TV, when you're active, when your brain is engaged with a new activity, you're challenging yourself, you're improving your skill sets, and your brain is going to give you instant feedback from this new activity. It may be bad feedback. It may be that you decide that the new thing isn't your thing, but you'll be able to change course accordingly. As your skill sets increase and your challenges increase, your health will improve. So there you have it. There's lots of reasons why we should do what Amy Poehler is doing and learn something new. Practicing a new and challenging activity is the best bet for building and maintaining your cognitive skills, improving your self-confidence and self-esteem, reducing your stress, and living a better, healthier, and longer life. Our brains and our bodies have the ability to learn and grow as we age. But in order to do this, we have to train both the brain and the body on a regular basis. So embracing a new activity is going to help us to do this, keep our brains and our bodies healthy. Maybe you don't want to do as Amy's doing and do one new thing every month. Maybe just pick one new thing. Devote your time and attention to that one new additional activity and fully embrace it. Sign up for a class. Schedule practice time into your daily schedule. Be consistent if you can. Devote whatever time you can. Make that date with yourself. Be firm with that. Don't break that date. Don't break that commitment. Schedule it and do it. No matter which new activity you choose, make sure it follows 3 guidelines in order for it to best help your health. Make it challenging, make it complex, and make it consistent. Challenging, so your brain will grow. Engage your brain to learn something new and give your brain a chance to grow and improve. Complexity, because you're going to force your brain to work on problem solving, creative thinking, and practicing your new thing consistently will make it permanent. The more time you devote to engaging your brain, the more it will benefit. Constant repetition. This is what I tell my students who come to class regularly. It's that constant repetition which will have the greatest impact. So, go ahead. I hope you take the challenge. Join Amy Poehler on her challenge to explore something new every month. It's good for your brain. It's good for your body. It's good for your soul. What I've done is I've created a large list of new things that I want to learn. I'm calling it my 60 before 60 list. The 60 new things I want to learn and do before I turn 60. Like Amy Poehler, I'm only a few items into my list, but it's a challenge I'm really enjoying so far. While you're embracing the challenge and embarking on your new things every month or every week or every season or maybe even every day, you'll know what I'm up to at the same time. Think of me as I learn to play a musical instrument, start speaking Italian, and I try to learn how to make sushi from scratch at home. Now you know what I'll be doing. I might also be watching that Inside Out movie, and in addition to that, I will be doing what I always do, which is wishing you well.